Hey everybody, I'm back with something kind of new. I've been building some Klingon starship models. This little guy being the first one I've done in a while. It's a small bird of prey that was coupled with a starship from Starfleet, a little double box set. Kind of a nice little model. I think you see the bottom details. It's got the thing. I had a lot of fun. I mean, I hadn't painted a Klingon ship in a terribly long time, and I made a little makeshift base for it. Used a figure piece that has a Klingon emblem on it there for a base. So I did that, and it got me back into Klingons again. I've always liked the Klingons in Star Trek. They're one of my favorite aspects of Star Trek, and being a Next Generation fan also, one of my favorite Klingons was Gowron, the guy he had the wild eyes, and I think Robert O'Reilly was the actor's name, and he was this Klingon that was very ambitious and trying to become a big deal, and there's all this plot with Worf and all these things. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I just liked that character, and this was a figure I found just, hunting around on eBay, and I had little ones, little Playmates figures that were maybe about, I don't know, about that big maybe, and they look okay, but they're very cartoony, and I was like, no, I was going to go dig those up, and like, okay, I'll have me some little Klingons to go with my ships. Well, the model I'm working on that I wanted to put the figures with is not on, I'm not done with it yet. It's a 350 scale Klingon Katinga class battlecruiser. And it's supposed to light up and all that. Now, I'm not going to light mine because I'm just not a light up guy, but it's a really big model of my favorite Klingon ship. So I'm in this big Klingon wave, and I said, well, I'm going to get a Klingon to go with it. So the big deal about this video are the custom things I did to the figure. I got this. This isn't Playmates. This is, God, I can't remember the brand because I didn't get a box with it. It just came as a figure. A series of Star Trek figures that came out several years ago, mid 2000s, 2010, 20, in between. And so forgive me if I just don't remember the name. I think Art Asylum may be the brand. But all I know is that they made some pretty nice Star Trek figures. And in this case, the Klingon uniform was really cool, but it was missing a couple of pieces. And I found a Gowron with a sash, because the sash was really important. Now, he doesn't have all those robes. A lot of times the Klingon leaders had these robes that looked cool. And understand, my favorite Klingon is really Commander Krug, which is Christopher Lloyd from Star Trek 3. So I've got a solution for that. I'm working on that, but let's not put the cart ahead of the horse. So what I've done is I've made, I want you to see the little base I did here too. You see that I've got a little, I took a clear base, painted it black, printed a Klingon symbol, and the Gowron sort of image, the icon. That's the one in the back's the Gowron family image. And so I made him a base that goes with the figure, and I started doing some things to it. Now, it did not come with the figure came with no accessories. Just I was lucky to get him with the sash. The sash ones tend to be gone. You don't find those, not loose. So, real quick, what I did was there's some color in between these little pieces of armor, and it's kind of a burgundy almost color, and I painted that. It's a very thin little stripe. Changed the belt buckle to more of a bronzy color. Added a red stone and did a little bit of chroming there with my chrome pen. And I kind of liked this copper color in there. I think he's actually just got gold. Yes, of course, I painted the face and the eyes. I really spent a long time on the eyes. Gowron's got these wild eyes. He looks like he's just insane, kind of crazy, and I love that about him. He looks real cool. And he's got one of the coolest Klingon foreheads. I like his makeup. Some other things I added. This chain, I happen to have this little length of chain. I've got another piece in case I want to, the other little project I'm working on, add a holster. And I did that. I added the holster for a pistol. Now, the only pistol I had was from the old Playmates Krug figure. So that's actually a Star Trek 3 Klingon pistol, but it's in scale with this guy. So for now, that's his pistol. I'm going to let it be his. When I get my Krug figure made, he'll have to give this up, and I'll have him another little disruptor pistol. Another thing I did was I painted, I don't know if you can see it real well, the Klingon letters that are on the side of their arm bracers there. They've got them on both sides, and I thought it looked a lot better with that. And also, this was tricky. I wanted him to have his little emblem. They had these little emblems, and I don't know if they're communicator patches or what they are, but I just printed that in my computer and sprayed it with a matte coat. Then I did a wash of a clear coat on it and came in with my chrome pen and did a little detailing and glued it. I actually had to Dremel the arm down to flat and then glued it on there. But it gives him a little pin that he would have. So I added that, added the chain, added the holster. For the back of the holster, I think I did just a leather strip because I didn't have that much chain. But I kind of like the look of it. Again, repainted the face, added that, glossed some of the armband details and things like that. Didn't do too much to the feet. The feet were okay. I was all right with it. Again, you can see the base I made there. So that's my Gowron, and it's become sort of, this is my basic Klingon figure setup, the way I've done Gowron here. So I've got a Christopher Lloyd head coming from a Doc Brown figure, which is about in scale, and I'm gonna get another Klingon body, and I'm gonna make a Krug, and then I'm gonna get a Worf in Klingon attire, and he'll have the Batlith sword. That way they've got all the weapons. I'll have one with a blaster, and that may end up being Krug, and then I'll put him with the knife, and then I'll have Worf with the Batlith, and that'll be the 3 Klingons, and that's all I want, just 3 Klingon guys to go with my Katinga class model. And when you see all that together, it'll be really cool. So this will be a kind of a continuing series of Klingon development. And I will be getting a larger model of the Bird of Prey. I really like the Bird of Prey, and I want to get a bigger one that's more in scale with my Katinga class. And that'll be it. That's really all I want to do. Just a little bit of Klingon stuff. I might get the Starship model from the Next Generation that's out there. They do have one. And it'll get a little busy if I do that. But we'll see. We'll see. But I just thought I'd show that. I just thought I'd show you my little Gowron development and see what you think. And if you got any comments or anything, let me know. I'm pretty proud of him. I think he looks almost like he's ready to grab that pistol and give it some hell. So, kind of like Klingons. They're just fun. Hope you like my video. If you do, like, subscribe. It's been a little bit of a while. Sorry, I've been busy with a lot of models and a lot of things. There's some definite videos coming. So stay tuned. See y'all very soon.